The next talk is by Shalom Carmel, and we're gonna start now. Our local time is 15:40, so let's get started. You got close to 1 hour.
Close to 1 hour, that's too long.
We can have some little Mickey Mouse jokes and fill it up if you want.
That's okay. I mean, I'm the one before last, so I guess people are tired and maybe bored and maybe sorry for coming anyway, coming to here at all. I hope not. Anyway, we're starting. Okay. Let's talk about 1 minute about legacy. What does legacy mean to us? Because legacy is a term that we hear all around whenever we speak about application information, life cycle management, and when we go and try to integrate existing infrastructure into new applications, we hear the word of legacy. And I think that the second definition sums it up pretty well. A legacy system is an existing computer system or application program which continues to be used because the user does not want to replace or redesign it. Now, obviously, if I just put something in, a new information system, I have a brand new ERP system, well, it's not a legacy yet. So sometimes at its life cycle, at some point of time, my application will become obsolete or will be going to be obsolete. Or, you know, at least when I look at the legacy systems, I can say that whatever is older than 3 years, it may very well be called already legacy because of the all the crud that and the entropy of the information that goes in. And of course, if it works, I replace it. So legacy systems pose a huge, may pose a problem to organizations because of the constantly changing landscape of technology. And I'm going to walk you through what happened to one such system and what lessons can be learned for the future from looking at this system. And this system is the IBM AS400. What happened here? What happened here? Okay, great. The AS400, now today called also I-Series or System I, is a mid-range platform that was released by IBM in 1988. So it's almost 20 years ago. It's a mid-range platform. You will find it in many places. It's very popular in certain countries like in Italy. It has hundreds of thousands of customers all over the world. It's not compared in spread to Unix or to Windows servers, but you can count, you can be sure that wherever it is used, it is usually used to hold the crown jewels of the organization, okay? The financial data, the customer data, the logistics data, and it can be used, and it is used to run some of the most successful ERP systems that are around. So what do we have in this system right now, in this AS400 system? We have a built-in database, which is basically a flavor of DB2. We can write applications written in COBOL, in PL1, C, C++, Java, RPG. We have an object-oriented OS. I will get to it later on. Remember this object-oriented OS for a while. And you can, it is used by many organizations that already have invested a huge amount of money. Just to to give you the perspective, a AS400 that runs a business application has 500 gigabytes of disk space and has to support 300 connected users, will cost not less than $100,000. Okay, so it's a huge amount of money. It's a large investment. So I understand the organization that buys such a system, runs its application on it. You know, even if you take into account the fact that after 3 years, it's already its value is zero in the financial, in the books. Still, I have it. Okay, the cost of placement is very high. I want to keep it. I want to continue to use it as long as I can, as long as it makes business sense to do it. This is on one hand. On the other hand, I have another problem. I have a problem because the landscape, everything is changing. Okay, I used to run a financial application on my AS400, so it worked pretty well. It was okay. Now, it's sometime in the life cycle of the application, we decided we need interfacing with other applications. Okay, so we did all kinds of batch jobs and FTP runs. Okay, we have integrated it, but now I need it to integrate online. Okay, we're speaking about all kinds of new ideas of integration. So this is a major it can be a major problem. In our case, I'm going to walk you through a couple of minutes to show you what happened. It's a bit of a history lesson, okay, so to speak. This system started out as a standalone server, standalone application. We had a menu-driven application. We can see it right here. We had a menu-driven application. You can see here on the right side an example of a screen, green screen. It was, the system itself was connected to dumb terminals, to green screen terminals with Twinax cabling. At the outmost, we had other servers connected via an SNA network, okay? And it was all well. It was all well because I had application logic that was driving whatever the user could do, could interact with the system, okay? And the application logic was both masking the data from the user and providing a sandbox, even though in this example we can see that I have there are those lines right here. It's something that says selection or command. So theoretically, a user could run a command in this place, but I could restrict him. We could say this is a limited user, so whenever this user was writing a command such as call program X, he would receive a notification saying, I'm sorry, you're blocked, you can't do anything that is not on your menu. Okay, it was really great and it worked really well for a period of, for a couple of years until things started to change. Now, what changed is basically three major technological changes that happened not in the AS400 but in the environment. But they affected the system. The first one was the appearance of Windows, of personal computing. Second one was the understanding of IBM that they need to take some of functionality of Unix and put it inside this machine. And the third one was the appearance of TCP/IP and of Ethernet networking as the preferred method of corporate and of business networking. And what happened is that the old workstations, the old dumb terminals disappeared, the old SNA and Twinax network disappeared, and what we have now, wherever, does anyone come here from an organization that uses AS400s? Anyone ever done anything on such a system? No? Okay. We have. Whereas a couple of years ago, up until the beginning of this century, you could still find terminals in some places, and in other places you had to buy specialized hardware to place it, to plug it into your PC and to connect it with specialized cabling. Today you can take just a regular PC, plug it into the network, open up a Telnet client, and voila, you're connected. So, with personal computing, we don't have a dumb terminal any longer. We have a smart terminal that may run other code. It's not dedicated to this task. We have a new set of connectivity tools. If we had the sandbox in the beginning to start with, in which the user was limited to a control environment, now suddenly, because I have connectivity tools that were supplied by the vendor, by IBM, okay, to solve a business problem, I have suddenly bidirectional file transfer between those applications, between my database and the PC. Suddenly I can execute remote commands. I can run local commands on the PC, and the users got out of the application sandbox. Okay, if it were true, but there were no changes in the networking, then the problem would be, so to speak, controlled. Okay, I remember the days when, in order to communicate with the AS400, I had to buy a special card, a Twinax supporting card, plug it into the motherboard, and someone who didn't have this kind of equipment couldn't connect to the server. Nowadays, it's not Twinax cabling anymore. Now everyone can connect. It's not SNA any longer, it's TCP/IP. And we see standard services ported over to the server. We started to see things that look trivial to you, that should exist on any server, but they were not trivial. FTP, Telnet, ODBC, RExec, all of these protocols, all of these are currently services that can run on an AS400, and some of them are very common, like FTP. Whereas, again, a couple of years ago, TCP/IP was an optional feature that you could install on an AS400, and you didn't have to install it. You could run it in your old Twinax or token ring service network. Today, you can't use this kind of computer without TCP/IP. Again, whereas you needed special hardware and special software to connect, okay? You needed either a terminal and the card, or a specially written software to use this Twinax card. Today, a regular FTP client, a regular Telnet client is good enough for it. Now, one more thing that is complicates things even more is that when we were working with the applications, we were having login screens, we were logging into the application, we were logging into the server as operating system users. And imagine yourself this scenario. Imagine yourself that you have a web application. A web application is a really a good analogy, because we're talking about thin clients here, okay, basically. So imagine yourself that you have a web application and you are given a user and a password to use in this application, in the web application. This user and password can be used also to log in via FTP to the file system of the web server, and to log in with ODBC to the database, the transit. Okay, this is something that you wouldn't accept in a normal situation, but this is the situation with this system. Okay, once I have a valid user, the valid password, okay, to use it in my regular business application, I can use it also to connect via ODBC with standard drivers, or via FTP with the regular DOS client that I have. And I can execute programs via FTP. There's an extension. If you connect to an AS400 and you type quote RCMD and some command string, it will be executed on the server. So what we see is the attack surface grows and grows and grows and doesn't end yet. At some point, IBM saw that they needed to support TCP/IP and all kinds of services, and